I talked about in a video earlier this week about how the Browns in that 2025 class seem to have secured two cores of two important pieces on both sides of the ball, right? With Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger on top of what they already have in that front seven, you really solidified the core of what should be a good unit for years to come. With the offensive side of the ball, I think the Browns found their running back tandem with Dylan Samson and Quinnshon Judkins. The more I see Dylan Samson, the more I'm encouraged by him. Now, originally, I thought that Dylan Samson would take a little bit more time to get acclimated, and that seemed to be correct. He does seem to need a little bit more time here, but Quinnshon has just blown away any of my rookie projections for where he'd be at. So let's look at the Browns' rookie run game. Let's look at some tape versus the 49ers, and let's talk about it. But before I do that, got to thank my sponsor, Sleeper. Real quick, just want to let you guys know Sleeper has a new offer here. They're offering a free $20 entry, no deposit required. And also, if you're a first-time user, you also will receive a 100% match on up to $100 when you use the promo code WORSTTAKE. Again, $20 free, no deposit required. Plus, first-time users also receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. Join Sleeper. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the tape, look at the running game here. Again, I think there's a lot to be excited about going forward. So let's look at Dylan Samson. My main thing with Dylan here is, one, I like how decisive he is as a runner. He has some really good speed. We saw that last week versus the Raiders. But also, he is much harder to tackle than you would think given his size, right? He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's really hard to tackle. One thing both of these running backs, 22 and 10, share in common, they have explosion out of their cuts. Look at this cut by Samson. Boom. And again, just deceptively difficult to tackle. Don't know what it is. Might be that Clyde Edwards-Helaire thing where he's built low to the earth, right? But really nice cut here, boom, to get around and get behind that David Njoku. Way to go north here and just absorb contact. So 1, 2, rolls out of that. Really great. That's contact balance and equilibrium. I think he has really good contact balance and equilibrium. Really good thing to have in a running back. Right? A D tackle gets a hold of him. He's still able to drive through. Really nice stuff here, right? He doesn't get the ball as much as I would like him to get the ball, but I understand because those reps go to Quinnshon for a reason, and that's because Quinnshon is just really, really good. But yeah, I think there's a lot there to glean from him. Again, just a really explosive downhill cutter. Somebody who can absorb a lot of contact, right? Look at that handoff here. Look at the cut there. Boom. And then can get north. And then again, just absorbs contact, right? He gets hit here, rolls off, keeps going forward. He's just hard to take down. He's a feisty runner. Last run here from Samson, he only got 4 carries. We're showing 3. Nice little cut against that. And again, he's just never going down to the ground easy. Good athlete, good cutter, strong vision. Nice explosion from him. I think there's a lot to really like about Dylan Samson, and I think as we see more of Dylan as his career progresses, the more and more we're going to like, right? Like the one thing he's not strong at is pass protection, but I just think he needs time. I think his instincts are fine as a pass protector. I just think he needs to, bulk up, be able to handle the challenge physically, because I think mentally he's okay at it. All right, let's look at Quinnshon Judkins here, right? Your feature back for the Cleveland Browns. Now, the one thing I'll point out is I think the Browns run it from under center far too often, and they're far too predictable, and that goes into a lot of the issues that we have with the run game. I would love it if we ran out of more varied sets here and weren't so predictable and, just ran more stuff in general, but I understand. You got a rookie quarterback. You've had rookie quarterbacks since like week 4. The playbook's only going to be but so open. Okay, cool. Handoff here to Quinnshon, and again, just really good feet here, right? Posick gets kind of driven back into his lap. Does a really good job cutting back and just finding that lane and then getting north. The fun thing about Quinnshon is that he has a switch he can flip, right? He can go from being a super patient runner to being a really aggressive runner to being a runner who knows, hey, I need to get this amount of yards on this play here, right? So sometimes he takes risks, sometimes he doesn't, but he's really smart about it. Real heady player here. Another one here. They run the ball out from under center. There's just so many plays where I'm like, man, if we could just block, dude, he would have so many yards. First of all, look at this cut by Quinnshon here. Did you see it? It happened super quick. I'm gonna zoom in on it a little bit so you can see it a little better. But it happened super quick. Watch this. Look at that. You see that? Look at this cut. Shoop. And then look how low he is, and he's able to still maintain balance and control. Ooh. Look at that shit. Joink. Ripped the hole in the man's leggings. Look at that. Look at that. That was not there before. Look, let's check it out. Yeah, see, look, 59. His leggings intact right now, right? You see that? See that? Then look what Quinnshon do to him. Shonk. Hey, that hole wasn't there before, buddy. That wasn't there before, buddy. Quinnshon done did that to you. Imagine what this looks like if we could get actual push from our offensive line on a 3-on-2 situation. Imagine what this looks like. Insane quickness from Quinnshon. Like, look, Dylan Samson's explosive and quick out of his cuts. And that's why I played him first, so you guys can get an idea for that. Because if I played you Dylan Samson after playing you Quinnshon Judkins, he's going to look slow. He's not, though. Quinshon's just super explosive as an athlete. All right, let's continue here. They run this one out the gun, which I appreciate. I think there's an argument here that Quinnshon maybe should have just went and took this lane. I think he got a little bit too patient for his own, right? Just take that up there. I get why he jumped this one because you're going to see Joe gets a little blown up here. And I think he's reacting to that, so he cuts this one back. And I think he's thinking, hey, I could just take on that DB. But, you know, the only thing I would say here is I would like for him, instead of trying to run around that DB there, run through him, right? You see how he tries to cut around that DB? I would like to see him just step through that DB, right? Instead of kind of cutting around him. That's just me. Maybe they're telling him to not do that, right? I think if he can run through that DB here, there's a lot of space for him. All right, 2nd and 6. They run out of the gun. A little bit more space here. I like that he could do this too, right? Really strong quads. So look how he puts the foot in the ground, gets south, and then he needs to get really low. Look how he kind of tunnels his way for like 2 extra yards. Really nice stuff here. And stuff you want to see from a feature back, right? You need those little tricks and tools when you're going to be a feature back. And he clearly is one. Another really strong run here. Again, man, one day the Browns are going to fix this offensive line. It's going to be beautiful for Quinnshon. Hopefully someday soon. But he's doing a lot with what he has here, right? Appreciated that they switched it up a lot more this week. A lot more variation in the run game, and I think that helped it a lot in the first half. So hopefully they can continue to do it. A little run out the gun here. Really think this run could have been something if we could just win up front. But hey, sometimes you don't. Another play where he goes out wide. Little handoff here. Cuts out. The balance and the acceleration. Like there are some plays where Quinnshon Judkins only gets like a 1 yard run, but he somehow hits 15 miles per hour on the gun. And that's just so impressive, right? Like his long speed ability and his ability to maintain his long speed is not the most impressive thing about him. But what is impressive is his 0 to 60, right? The fact that he can just get in these short spurts and cover a lot of ground really quickly. Like he's just a very explosive athlete. Breaks like 2 tackles here, gets around, and for a guy his size, right, he's able to just take these outside run plays. It's pretty impressive. Again, another example of like just how fast this guy cuts. Shoof, right here. He almost teleports in there. All right, 1st and 10 in the 4th quarter. They do a little toss out here. He has to kind of stop to get this pitch here from Shedeur. He doesn't stop fully. So he has to kind of like slow down a little bit to get this pitch here. And then the full receleration. He's a really impressive player. And another one here from Quinnshon, able to get the outside here. I think he was hoping that Cedric Tillman was going to finish that block so he can cut this angle up north. Cedric doesn't finish that block, so it doesn't go. But yeah, again, we get better blocking here from all areas. He's going to be a beast. But yeah, you want Cedric to finish that block here to open up that lane so he can crease it. And if he does crease it, that might be house. Look at that shit. That might be house. Oh, man. It is why it is so important to just finish every play. These young guys are going to learn that, right? It's why it's important to just finish every play possible because you never know, right? I bet Cedric Tillman's thinking it's a dead play. We're going to move on to the next one, but you got to just stay with the play that you're in for as long as possible because, boy, if Cedric Tillman could have stayed in front of his man a little bit better, he would have scored. Or at least had a chance to. Then the 3rd and 1, running out the gun. And then a great cut here, gets north, gets about 17 yards, and then finishes it off with violence. Love to see that. A little handoff here. Look at the cut. Boom, cut. And then he's able to just cut. Like that ability right there, it's insane. Like to fully punt, cut, and then regen and plant, cut, and then accelerate again. That's so hard to deal with. But that's Quinnshon Judkins and Dylan Samson, and that's the future of your rushing attack. And boy, when you get some bulldozers on that offensive line, and hopefully you get a couple of guards in this class, you're going to really start to appreciate what they built here. So, it's definitely something to look forward to. Let me know what you guys look forward to down in the comment section below. Have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.